Bum 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 bum. The Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum. So 2 months ago, my grandmother passed away. She was 91 years old, living in Taiwan, and at long last, I had to travel back to Taiwan. I hadn't flown in 5 years at that point. And when I got there, I decided to have her communicate with Mary Curry on the other side to see if Mary Curry could set me up on a blind date. My grandmother and Mary Curry actually did coexist here on Earth for a few months, and so I thought maybe the two could relate to one another. And to further the quest, I gave my grandmother a rock to take to Mary Curry that could be used to make her signature discovery. Not quite the way she discovered it, actually. Mary Curry discovered polonium-210 from uranium ore, right? Uranium decay. But polonium-210 can also be made much more economically with neutron activation of bismuth. So I put in the casket about a half pound of bismuth for my grandmother to take to Mary Curry so she could continue her research, and then the casket was cremated. So in her urn, there's probably a small bismuth crystal in there. I didn't get to see the ashes. I was kind of disappointed. Hopefully bismuth will never be worth a fortune, because somebody might break into the urn if that were the case, right? So now I can't root for bismuth to go to the moon, but I don't want it to, because I get a lot more utility out of making art from bismuth than I'll ever get from being a trillionaire, right? And that's an understatement, by the way. Okay, but and then I left the funeral, and strange things started to happen. First, I don't know why. To this day, I still cannot explain why. I got an urge to reactivate my dating app. I was using Bumble a few years ago. I suddenly got an urge to reactivate that while I was in Taiwan. And actually, the reason I got the urge to activate it was I was hoping to get a head start before I came home to Phoenix. I didn't realize that Bumble automatically updates your location based on wherever you're logged in. And before I knew it, I was swiping on people in Taiwan. And something else interesting happened. You see, when I use Bumble here in the United States, I have a difficult time if I put in my age the way it appears on my ID. I have a much better time putting in my actual biological age, right? And it's not like I want to date younger people. No, I don't. The problem is that the average 40-year-old looks at me and they think I lied about my age, which in a way I kind of do, because my ID age is kind of false, right? Or number two, they're just not attracted. They think I'm immature and all that. And what really stings is that, so according to the government, I'm 37 years old, right? But according to my biological clock, I'm probably still in my 20s, I want to say. A lot of students make moves on me, inappropriate statements to me all the time, right? And I sometimes when I was working at a different school, I actually got hassled by security one time who thought I was a student. I was grading papers in the adjunct office, and security thought that I was a student hanging out in there, and because I look so young for my age. And so I got a legal age of 37. My biological age is probably in the 20s. And then there's my intellectual age, which is probably a lot higher than 37. And so it becomes a quandary. I feel like I need two different dating profiles, one for the biological age and one for the intellectual age, right? And but for some bizarre reason, I decided to reactivate the account using my biological age, and I didn't find anybody on the page interesting, because in Taiwan, people who are legally 27 are biologically probably more like 15, right? And at least by American standards. And so I had to create a new profile altogether. And this time put my legal age, even though I disagree with, I should have put my intellectual age, but I put my legal age as a compromise. And before I knew it, I was eating sushi with a girl in Nangang, and I had a really good time. On the way back from Nangang into Taiwan, when she got off the train, I felt like part of me disappeared. I really did. I had to go home the next day. And when I got onto the plane, for the first time in my life, I find myself signing up for the Wi-Fi on an airplane. I usually try to get some rest on the flight. You know, it's really too cramped to be using your laptop. But for the first time in my life, I felt like it was more important. Well, fast forward a few more weeks later. We're still talking, by the way. We're rooting for each other. She's rooting for me now because I'm just about to go to another event. And this time, Mary Curry apparently has talked to her husband, Pierre Curry, because I'm getting along with one of his descendants now. And I want you guys to continue praying for me by disliking this video. Oh yeah, something else happened. Obviously, I don't do very well with dating apps here in the United States, so I decided to, as a little bit of a joke, I posed with, I gotta upload this picture to you guys sometime, but I posed with my finger pointing left and telling people to swipe left to show your support for the profile. I want to be the most left-swiped profile in all of Bumble history. And to my surprise, I got a ton of likes. I have to decide if I want to pay in order to see who those likes are. But that was not quite what I was shooting. I was actually really shooting for the most disliked, and to be go down history in some way, right? But apparently, I don't know why this concept of asking for dislikes gets so much attention. I really don't. But I pray that I'm going to respond to the few that I matched with. Pray that something goes down there. I don't expect to really make any sort of match there. It's more of a joke, but if I can make a friend and branch out from there, that would be good too. This is the Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum. The Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum.